This is the Desert Plunge. I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised with this thing. So in this video, I wanna show you the good, the bad, everything you need to know if a Desert Plunge is right for you. First of all, I wanna talk setup on this bad boy. I tried installing a chiller on my other cold plunge, and it took about 3 weeks to actually get it to like having the right parts and stuff, even though I followed a video. But this thing right here, I was able to set up in like 10 minutes. It was incredibly easy.
Dad, what is it?
Oh, it's a cold plunge. So now let's talk about the size of this. So the first thing that I think is important is to talk about the design of this, and especially how it feels like to be inside, because I think for most of us that's going to be a pretty major factor on whether we like it or not. Even though it's small, I actually really like that it has these hinges because it keeps my kids from being able to get inside, so that's great. Opens up super easy. So for the design, this thing is actually going to fit. So I had an Ice Barrel 400, this one. And that one I really had to like slouch in order to get it like up to my neck. I wish it was a little bit taller, like I'm slouching my back a little bit right now. I think that one's like perfect if you want to like sit down. It's a very different experience for a cold plunge. But this one, I really liked that it seems like it's built for tall people. 23, 24 inches deep. I can get it like right up to my neck if I want to. I can fit comfortably my entire body underwater, and I'm a little over 6 foot. And this is a very good experience. Usually if you're looking for something that you can recline in like this, that's super well insulated in the chiller and all that, you're looking at like $5,000. This is much more affordable price wise. By the way, if you're thinking about getting one of these, you can get a discount with the code GABEBOLT. It also super duper helps out the channel. I'll leave a link down below, you can check that out. But going back to it, that is one of my favorite things, is just the shape and size and near like depth of this thing. It's massive and very well built. The other thing is this thing is made by Grizzly Coolers, so it is very rugged. You're not gonna hurt this thing. It's incredibly solid. You can leave it out in the sun, in the rain, and nothing's really gonna happen to it. Like everything about this is just very well made. You can also have an ozone ready option so that you can have, you know, cold plunges without having to put in a bunch of chemicals and stuff like that. The filter system and the chiller, again, were incredibly easy to set up. I've never had a filter on a cold plunge before, and it really got a lot of stuff out. Just one note, if you are using this, it's important to like either rinse off if you were sweating or something like that. I usually go in my sweat tent, which is right over there, and then afterwards I go in the cold plunge. And I've just been rinsing off with the hose ahead of time, so I'm not getting a lot of oil in there and sweat, and then I'd have to change the filters more often if I did that, so I just try to avoid that. Then I also have a bucket of water to kind of clean off my feet so it doesn't get too congested in here. And for the people who are thinking about, you know, should I just use ice? Should I get a chiller? Is that really worth it? I had a different cold plunge before this, and I tried using ice. And I gotta say, you either have to buy a crap ton of ice, which is stupidly expensive for frozen water. I don't understand that. Or you gotta have a lot of like Tupperwares and freezer space in order to keep enough ice to, you know, to keep it going, especially in the summer when it gets hot. So for me, I tried going without for a while. Once I actually stuck with it and ended up realizing that, you know, this cold plunging thing, I've been doing it for a couple of years now, it's for the long term. I invested, and now I have, you know, a chiller. So if maybe you've never cold plunged before and this is your initial one, maybe start out without getting the chiller. Maybe don't do that until you're committed and you know that you're absolutely gonna be cold plunging, you want the benefits, you know that you're gonna stick with it, and it's not just for like the next month. And if you're at that point, then I think the chiller with it is a no-brainer. Comes with a 1/4 horsepower chiller, and again, it was incredibly easy to set up. All the hoses are like numbered. It was just very simple to put together, and this got it down to temperature in like 2 hours, so it's very solid. It all just kind of keeps running constantly, but since it's insulated, it's got like 2 inches of insulation here, it seems to not have to run a ton, at least the chiller doesn't, and it stays really cold all the time, and I haven't had a problem with that. Now the filter in the back, this is it after about 3 weeks, I believe. And you're supposed to change the filters every 1 to 4 weeks, depending on, you know, how often you use it, all that type of stuff. And a pack of filters, I just bought it on Amazon. It was like 26 bucks. I think it was for 6 of them. So not incredibly expensive, and it is much, and I gotta say, one of the things I didn't like about other ones that didn't have filters is like you're changing the water constantly to keep it clean. So I like having the filter, and you could just keep the same water going for a really long time. I'm coming up on a month of having this thing, so I'll let you know when I actually need to change it. But as of right now, you just change the filter, really like 10 seconds, and then you're good to go for a couple other weeks. So that's really nice. This is that new filter right here. Pretty much you just unspin this, you turn the bypass on, and then you put in a new filter. It was incredibly easy to do. Back here you have the little pump, and then in here you've got all the cords, and you're good to go. Another thing I wanted to point out here is that it does just plug into a regular outlet. So like some cold plunges, you might have to have an electrician come out and put something into the wall so that you can plug this in or whatever. And this just goes into a normal outlet. So that was very nice. So that's just something that you won't have to worry about, and one like additional expense you won't have to have with this. Now, it also has a 1-year warranty, which is kind of middle of the road as far as cold plunges go. Some of them have longer ones, but 1 year is still pretty solid. But I don't really foresee, at least the plunge itself, having any problems due to like how well that it's built. Now, as far as negatives go about this thing, I didn't really have too many, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not paid for these. And I do like some of the designs of other plunges that are maybe more sleek, that are slightly longer and things like that, or have cool designs on the side. But this is like really solid, rugged, and I definitely wouldn't pay thousands more dollars, like twice the price, to have it look a little better, because this, I think, serves its purpose more than amazingly. So if you're looking for an absolutely solid cold plunge that hopefully you won't need to change for a long time, then I definitely think this is the play. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them down below. I'll try to answer as many as I can, and even make another video if that's something that would add value. That's it. That's all I got. I'm about to hop in and do the intro.